So I want you to look at your phone for questions that people are going to give me, and then you all read those questions. You take turns. Hello, how are you? Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. And I know you're enjoying family members and friends. And I have some friends with me today that we're enjoying each other. And I decided to spend some time talking with you and allowing you to ask me questions. And I'm so excited about this on this particular day. My goal is to make every day count. When you have had a life-threatening experience and they tell you that you're about to leave here, let me tell you something. You want to make every day count. So I want you to like this page and share it, like it and share it. A lot of people are just out just having a good time. And we're going to have a good time today too. And I want to spend some time with you up close and personal where you can ask me some questions, okay? So I want you to like this page and share it. I'm going to be sharing some ideas with you. Now, what I'm going to be talking about is living a life that counts, a life that gives you a sense of purpose and significance. I woke up this morning around 3:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep. And Wayne Dyer, as well as my daughter, said, you wake up between 2:30 and 3:30, God is trying to talk to you and to do a download. And sure enough, I decided that I was going to maximize that time to finish and to put and include some ideas in my book. And I did that. I was just amazed of the clarity of my thoughts and how things flowed and came through me at that particular time. Usually I would struggle on going back to sleep, but I didn't do that this morning. And I feel good. And so I want you to ask me some questions about this thing called life, or what it takes to become an effective speaker, or how to tell your story, any number of things that you might ask me. I want you to like this page and share it, but I want you to just ask me those questions I'm going to answer. I also have two special guests who are going to be asking me some questions. What is your name, please?
Breck Bennett.
Breck Bennett. And your name, please?
Jovantrius Tolliver.
Jovantrius Tolliver. And so they call her short for Jo, but her real name Jovantrius. Her real name is Emma Jean. Hello, Jovantrius. Come to Atlanta. Now she's Jovantrius. Hello, whatever. All right, so Joe and Brett, they're going to be asking me some questions. And what is your name, please, sir?
Rick Mathis.
Rick Mathis, and he is a man who captures special moments. And so Rick, who's a videographer and photographer extraordinaire, and my spiritual son, he's going to be asking me some questions as well. And so I want you to ask me some questions, and just today, and this is for people who don't have anything else to do. You don't, maybe you got family members over, or you don't have anybody over, just being you, because none of my family members are here but my daughter, and she's gone out somewhere. So I was just bored. I have nothing to do but talk to you. But I feel good. You ever have one of those days where you just feel good and you just want to share some things that's in your heart and things that you feel that would be of value for people? I want you to ask me some questions, and let's carve this out, not just to interact with other people, but to reflect on yourself, because I've been reflecting on my life, as I look at my life, and this is my 75th year on the planet, what are the things that I am going to do? What do I envision for myself, creating this new chapter in the next greatest version of myself? And I heard a song the other day that said, I Want to Come Back, as a song by Walter Jackson. And there's a line in there that grabbed me, gave me chills. He said, as a man grows older, the world grows colder. And he talked about the fact that in him was a young man that still wanted to express, a young man that still wanted to do something. And I remember being driven by a television producer to all types of companies out in LA about bringing me on as a talk show host, and all of them said, hey, look, you're smart, you have personality, you have energy, great content, and you're old. And I heard that one after the other, and at that time I was in really good shape. And the last person that said that I was old, when I got out to the car, I said, you know what? That little puny chest guy, I'm going to go in there and challenge him to some push-ups. She said, Les, don't do that. I said, yes. At that time, I could do 140 push-ups on stage nonstop. And so she said, Les, don't do that. I said, well, they're just eliminating me because my age. Age is only a number. I can still function. I can still think. I can still ask questions. I can still use my knowledge and my personality to create appointment television, create special moments. And so she said, just let it go. And I did. Now, here's good news. The computer makes it a level playing field. Now, I can have my own show on my computer. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Think about that. 2007, Time Magazine said the computer is the person of the year. So I'm working on having my own talk show on television. I now live in Atlanta. I'm going to have my own audience here at the house. And Ed Gooch, he's helping me out. And I'm excited about the things I'm going to do. I'm pulling back off the road. I'm going to focus most of my time and energy training the next generation of great speakers, and just speak maybe once or twice a year. I mean, a month. I couldn't do that just a year, but once or twice a month, and focus on developing others, because I have the ability to do that. I started out as a trainer. So I want you to like this page and share it. You can tell I'm excited, huh? I'm fired up about it. Yes, and so I want you to ask me some questions. Do I have any questions as yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I do?
Yes.
What's one of the questions, Joe?
All right. First question is really good. So overcoming opposition, how do you do it? Overcoming opposition, no matter how much good you do, how do you overcome?
Somebody asked the question, how do you overcome opposition that no matter how much good you do, how do you deal with that? Well, first of all, it's according to what area of life that you're in. If there are people who oppose you for the things that you do, my goal is to focus on what you're doing, not on your critics and people that oppose you. Focus on what you're doing. And the main thing to overcoming the opposition to what it is that you're doing is on you. And that is keeping the main thing, the main thing. Write that down. Keeping the main thing, the main thing. Don't dilute and compromise your energy by your critics. See, people never shoot down, they only shoot up. There's never been a statue erected to a critic. There will always be people who will have an issue with you. You will always have opposition. Things are going to happen. People will betray you. There are people who will lie on you. Trust me on this. I know about this. There are people who try and cast aspersions on your character. We're living in a time where we're experiencing what are called public verbal kill shots, where people can make a statement about someone and kill their career, tarnish their reputation. And to think about it, you think it's a coincidence that Bill Cosby is the only person who someone has said something about and he's in jail? He's the only one. A lot of things been said about a lot of people, but Bill is the only one in jail. All right? No prior offenses. He's never killed anybody. He has never broken in anybody's house. He has not been tried dealing with attempted murder. He's blind. He's in his 80s. He's no threat to society. Bill is the only one in jail. Think about that. So when you think about this thing called life, you're going to have some opposition. And I'm not injecting myself in that conversation about around him whether or not he's guilty or innocent. All I'm saying is that one of the biggest lies told in our society is that justice is blind. That's not true, because if justice was in fact blind, the majority of people who go to jail for the same crime that people, the majority population, who get off and go free for, this proves that justice is not blind. You know, for every crime that an African American or person of color is convicted of, they're the average Caucasian go absolutely free or given probation. So it's a different yardstick on how we are measured. Next question, please.
Okay, from Susan Bingston. How do you tell your story and make it memorable and authentic?
Okay, Susan asked the question, how do you tell your story and make it memorable and authentic? Well, let me give you 2 tips on this, Susan. Number 1, when you tell your story, you want to make sure you position your story so that you do 2 things. There's several things you need to do. 7 things, but I'm going to give you 2 steps. Number 1, introduce to your audience who you are succinctly. Why? Because when you stand up, if you're talking to someone one-on-one, small group, a large group, the audience is asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? That's number 1. Okay, number 2, when you tell your story, Susan, you want to tell it from a perspective that is broad enough to include the audience, because for every audience you speak to, that audience, there are audiences inside of each audience that's separated by race, by education, by income, by their experiences. And so your goal is to use your audience to fuse that audience into one collective listening. And through telling your story, the goal of your purpose when you speak to an audience is to interrupt their collective thinking. Why, Les? Because how people live their lives is a result of the story that they believe about themselves. So you, as a speaker, you, as a trainer or a life coach, your goal, my goal, is to interrupt their current story they believe about themselves. That's what psychologists call their self-explanatory style. And so it is distract them from that story, and with the delivery, the presentation of your story from your heart, you're able to give them a new vision of themselves that will allow them to see themselves beyond their mental conditioning and their circumstances. Next question.
We have
Yes, just take your time.
Bobby Hang.
Bobby, what's Bobby's last name?
Hang.
Hain, okay.
Can anyone be a speaker, or do you have to have success?
I'm glad you asked that question, Bobby. Anyone can be a speaker. You don't have to have success. When I was giving speeches starting out my career, I was sleeping on the floor of my office in the Penobscot building on the 21st floor in Detroit, Michigan, bathing in the sink down the hall, hiding in the closet when the janitorial staff came in to clean the office. No, you don't have to be successful. As they say, my daughter often say, fake it till you make it. Well, I wasn't faking it. I just say, hey, listen, I'm going to speak my way to success. And that's what I was doing, because I got tired of being on jobs with that. It wasn't me, and they made my life a living hell. And Marion White said, in life, when you don't have enough courage or insight to know that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on, life will move on you. And so I can do something else. I'm going to bet on me. Finally, I got to the point I had it. And I decided to take a chance on me, and I said, I will speak my way to success. And the rest is history. Here I am, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. Next question, please.
This is from Jason Salona. How do you
Jason Salona? Yes.
Jason Salona. How do you overcome procrastination?
How do you overcome procrastination? Jason, here's how you do it. I had an experience where Wayne Dyer and I were called upon by a friend named Lynn Kitchen to do a PBS special to raise funds for public television. I was excited about that. Wayne Dyer was a brilliant man, and he and I had the same mentor. And we kept putting it off constantly. And then finally he called me and said, Les, I'm coming to Orlando. Let's go in and talk to the people at public television and sign the deal. I said, great. 2 days later, I got a call. Are you online? I said, no, what's up? Wayne Dyer's gone. I said, no. I just talked to him the other day. He's out of here. I was in South Africa, and Miles Monroe was right across the street. Now, I wrote the foreword to his first book that talked about developing your potential. And so I went over and I said to his staff, hey, I'm Les Brown. Lady said, I know who you are. I said, would you let Dr. Miles Monroe know that I'm here? She said, he's doing a relationship seminar for couples. I don't want to interrupt him now. I said, listen to me. If you let him know I'm here, he either call me in the room or he'll come out. He'll take a break and come out. I said, he and I are close friends. We flew down to Belize together in a private plane. I just want to say hello. It's been a minute since we've seen each other. She said, I'm going to do something better. She said, I'm going to set it up so y'all can have breakfast tomorrow morning without any interruptions. I reluctantly said, okay, but I didn't feel good about that. I wanted to do it then. Have you ever heard that small voice said, do this now? And I didn't honor it, okay? And so I was there early the next morning at 7 o'clock. The breakfast was set at 8 o'clock. She came in at 8:30, 7, no, it was 7:30 and said, I'm sorry. He left early. I made a mistake. And a few weeks later, Dr. Miles Monroe, I still have not gotten over it. He died, along with his wife and staff, in a plane crash. I just say, no. Oh God, I was mad with God. I just couldn't. How could drug dealers fly back and forth all over the world? And I never heard about them crashing and losing cocaine or marijuana. And this man who was dedicated to delivering the word of God, and he's gone. And it didn't happen. Two very close friends. I'm saying this to you for this purpose. The Ohio Players had a song years ago, here today, gone tomorrow. Well, listen to me. Here today, gone today. Something you want to do as much time, do as much as you can in the time that you have. Work while there's still light. Because as far as you're concerned, and I'm concerned, this might be our last conversation. You don't know when you're going to leave here. Live each day, as someone once said, as if it were your last. Because one day, it will be. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Next question, please.
Okay, Angie Constantini, how do I find my purpose?
Angie Constantina. Angie, she asked, how do you find your purpose? Well, Angie, I sure wish I could talk to you. Do you know how we're a person, I can talk to them and hear their voice? Is that possible?
Let's see if we can bring, if we can find
or she can call you on your phone, and I can interview her and interact. Mm-hmm. Is that possible?
Mm-hmm. We can bring her on the screen, too.
You can bring her on the screen, too?
Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking for, to see if we can find Angie on here. Let me see if I can
because
find it on the
I want to
phone.
ask her some questions, about 2 or 3 questions.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, have her. You want me to have her call you?
Yeah, have her call me.
Yes. Okay, Angie, get a pen and paper. I'm going to do an interview with you, and I'm going to align you with your purpose. You're going to discover what that is through the conversation that we have.
Yeah.
Okay. What number should she call?
Call 404
404
642
642
5903.
5903. Do that. Call that number now. Repeat it again.
404
404
642
642
5903.
5903. Call me now, Angie, and I want to ask you some questions. I want you to like this page and share it. I decided to do this on Memorial Day. You know why? I was bored. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm not selling anything other than that you have greatness in you and you can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And I want to interact with you, and I feel better when I'm talking to you. I feel better when I speak. This is what I'm supposed to do. And so what I realize, if you go on Facebook and just go through it, there's a lot of craziness on there every day. And if people around the world look at it, they'll think that people who look like me, all we do is play football, box, or tell dirty jokes and just act crazy. And so I'd like to project a different kind of image, particularly for our children, and to allow the world to see a different image of us through Facebook and all the other platforms. And that's why I'm training and developing speakers who have a sense of decency and a purpose and a mission with their lives, who want to make a greater impact and build a legacy. So I want you to like this page and share it. Angie, I'm waiting on you to call. I made it possible. She hasn't called yet. Moving right along. Next,
we'll go to
what's the next question?
All right, this is from Mike Kearney. How do you become an effective speaker?
Mike Kearney, how you become an effective speaker. Mike, number one, determine, Mike, what is the topic that you have an interest in? That's number one, Mike. What is that topic that you have a passion for? That topic that you are most knowledgeable about than the average person. That's number one. And number two, Mike, develop a signature message around that topic so that you can make yourself stand out in the marketplace. And the third thing is to find the audience that your message best resonates with, and develop what I call behavior marketing through Facebook to that audience so that they know that you're out there, and so that you can create a demand for yourself with your message. This is a time that, because of the data that Facebook been able to grasp off people, that you don't have to do a shotgun approach in terms of advertising like they do with radio and television. With Facebook advertising, you can appeal directly to people through the psychographics, through their income and education, because they have data, they have a profile on each person that's a part of their system. Next question, please.
This is from Kim Connor.
Kim Connor.
Yes. So if her story is intense, what part of her life should she start with as far as telling her story?
Kim said, what part of her life that she should start with in terms of telling her story? I think you start with that part of your life that you feel most comfortable. But considering how you position that question, if you've gone through something and you want to use that as a tool to empower people and allow people in the audience to listen to you and say, hey, if Kim can go through that and she's still standing, she still has confidence in herself, she's still making a difference, then I can do that too. And so the key is tell the heavy part of the story at the beginning and use the rest of your story to bring the audience up with the methods and the techniques that you advise for them. And I want you to keep this in mind, Kim. Impact drives income. And I also want you to make a note of this and write this down. Never let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience wants to hear. And if you're serious about speaking, I want you to email me at lesbrown77, and that's the rest of you that are listening, lesbrown77@gmail.com, and I'm going to send you an instrument that you can evaluate prospective people who want to bring you in to speak, so that you know how to position, how to craft your message to meet their needs and exceed their expectation. If you're just joining us, this is Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I've decided to make your Memorial Day interesting. If you home and don't have anybody at the house that you're ignoring right now, and you're bored like I was, and decided that you want to do something, even though I have people at my house, but they are boring, and so I decided to entertain myself. I'm just playing. Joe and Fred, no, you guys are not boring. I'm just playing, all right? Okay, what's the next question, please?
This is from Harold Cabrera. He's asking, how do you abolish negative thoughts?
Harold Cabrera, how do you abolish negative thoughts? Harold, here's what I know. You're not listening to me every day. Harold, listen to me every day. First thing in the morning. Harold, whatever you hear first thing in the morning, the first 20 minutes will affect the spirit of your day. So I'm going to give you an assignment, Harold. I want you to listen to Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I'm talking to over 80,000 people, Harold. Next thing is, Harold, I want you to find the video called You Deserve and watch that every day, first thing in the morning for 90 days. Here's something else, Harold. I want you to watch the presentation that I do called It's Possible. Watch it every day. And then, Harold, I want you to email me at lesbrown77@gmail.com, because I have another motivational series with my voice and Miles Monroe. And as you listen to these every day, it will begin to restructure your belief system and give you a larger vision of yourself beyond your mental conditioning and circumstances and the negative thoughts that's compromising your power to achieve your goals. Who's this?
We got the young lady on the phone.
What's her name?
Hello?
Hold just a minute. Hello, how are you?
Good. My name is Mr. from Boston.
What is your name?
Yusra.
Euthra?
From Boston.
Okay, when where you from where? Boston.
From Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts in the house. Hello, what is your question?
My question is, if you are... but...
Don't listen to yourself because there's a 6-second delay. Talk to me.
Let me... Okay, my question is, I'm not born American.
Okay, she's not. You're not coachable. I'm gonna have to hang up now because you're not listening to me. Listen to me. Turn your computer down so you won't get confused.
Yeah, sorry, I did. Sorry.
Okay, very good. All right now, because I'm gonna have to hang up on you. Go ahead.
Yes, no. Okay, my question is, first of all, I'm in Boston. We would like to have you here one day for a speaker. When are you next time that you're coming here? And as a person, I'm not born in America. I'm from Curacao, and I would love to be able to become like a motivational speaker, but I don't know where to start and how to go about it. And yeah.
Okay, well, very good. Well, what I'm going to do, I'll have my assistant to get your information, and I'll have my staff follow up with you, okay? I'm not scheduled to come to Boston, but if you got a group that want to invite me there, we can talk about that, okay? And I have a training that will share with you not only where you can speak, but we train you and extract your story and show you how to craft it into a keynote presentation that can transform people's lives individually and collectively, and be able to make a national and global impact. So get her information, please, from Boston. Write that down, and we'll follow back. We'll follow up on you. Put her on hold now and get that information. What's the next question, please?
This is a lighter question. So, do you carry a notebook and pen with you? By Chris Tillman.
Chris Tillman, yes, I do carry a notepad with me because I'm always writing down notes. I collect stories and I love quotes, and I have disciplined myself to memorize about 2 to 3 quotes a day. I used to do a minimum of 5 a day, but I still do it because I love good quotes and I love great stories, and so I'm a collector of stories. And so it's very important to have a notepad that you carry with yourself. Next question, please.
This is anonymous. How
Yeah,
do you...
I want you to stop saying Just ask the question.
Okay.
Just pause, because it's distracting. People pay more attention to their arms, they'll start counting them, than the content and the substance of what you're saying. Go ahead.
How do you find your call in life?
How do you find your calling in life? Boy, now, I don't know why y'all have not written the number down so you can call me, because I will share with you how to find your calling. Well, number one of the ways, in the absence of having a coach to walk you through a process so that you can discover it, is that you get to experiment with your life. I used to be a state representative. I was a community activist. I was a radio personality. I used to do a talk show. I was a photographer. I used to hold concerts. I used to own a nightclub. I've done a variety of things. I think that life is about creating experiences and experimenting to find out what resonates with you. And here's something, and that's a very good question that you ask. Just think about this. There are people who are going to college, who are graduating, and they're going to be in a job market that 44% of the jobs that exist for those college graduates do not require a college education. Think about that. Just imagine going into debt, owing thousands of dollars on a student loan, and you get out here and less than 40% of the jobs that are available require a college degree. So that's going to make it very competitive and very challenging for the people that graduate to find employment. Why? Because we are living in a time where technology, outsourcing, and private contracts is the name of the day. It's a brand new day. We're going toward a time that is called the rise of the robots. They got robots that can make sushi, make salads, pour drinks, do all types of things. And so you have to really ask yourself, what is it that I need to do to prepare myself to create my own destiny in this economy? Okay? Next question, please. Thank you.
This is from Shania D. Williams. How do you stay strong while working on your dream while homeless?
Sonia, you said, how do you stay strong while working on your dream and you're homeless? Sonia, been there, done that, bought the t-shirts. When I was pursuing this dream that I'm now living, I slept in my car. I slept on the couch of friends. I was going through some tough times. It wasn't easy. What I want you to do, what's the number again?
404
404
642
642
5903.
5903. Write that down and give it to me, please. Okay. What I want you to do, I don't know what your skill set is, what value you bring to the marketplace, but I'm going to have my staff reach out to you. I guarantee you, in less than 30 days, you won't be homeless anymore. Got to find out what you bring to the table, all right? Come on now. You don't get paid by the hour. You get paid for the value you bring to the hour. I'm going to hook a sister up, all right? So call that number and give the gentleman your name. Give your name again, please, sir.
What's her name? Son?
You know your name. Give your name.
Rick Mathis.
Rick Mathis. Give Rick Mathis your information. He's going to answer the phone. That's his direct number, all right? And the number again?
404
404
642
642
5903.
5903. Your days of being homeless are over because you got through. You made a connection. You call the right number. Okay? Next person, what's your question?
Mr. Shelton, I'm a lost young millennial man. What type of advice do you have for me?
Mr. Shelton, number one, you're not a lost millennial man. Words are powerful. Death and life is in the tongue. Thou shalt decree a thing that shall be established unto you. Mr. Shelton, you're struggling now to find yourself. That's what you're doing. You're not lost. You know where you are. You might not know who you are and have this limited vision of yourself. You probably, Mr. Shelton, allow your circumstances to define how you see yourself. But you're not lost. We're not going to claim that. You and I together, where two or three are gathered in my name, and name means nature, I will be among you. So, Mr. Shelton, I want you to call the number and give the gentleman.
Yeah, this is him right here. Lady.
He's here?
Let me see. This a young lady. You
Okay,
said-
that's
I think-
Mr. Shelton.
Oh, no. The other
Yeah.
lady that was homeless. Wasn't that a...
Yes,
oh,
get her
okay.
information, and I'm
Yeah.
going to get back to her, okay?
Okay,
So
so
write her name down,
Send,
okay?
yeah, send me a text.
All
and
right.
he's gonna get back
So,
to you.
Mr. Shelton, what I want you to do is call the phone number, and I want to interview you.
Oh, okay.
I want to interview you
Hold on.
to help you connect with yourself, because
Hello.
I don't think it's any accident that you got through. A lot of people are sending me messages, but yours got through. They said coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We're branches of the same tree.
Yeah, check it.
I know how you feel.
All right.
And there was a point in my life I didn't have a sense of direction. You know, I was born in an abandoned building on a floor in Liberty City in Miami, Florida. I'm adopted. I've never known my birth parents. My son to now is trying to find his grandparents through 23andMe, whatever. So, and for a period of time, I wasn't the person that I am now. It took some time for me to discover this Les Brown that you now see. And somebody helped me. I didn't get here by myself. And I'm glad you called. I believe ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help and don't stop until you get it. What's the next question, please, as we begin to wind up?
This is from
Hello, is this Mr.
Jaquin.
Shelton?
What 3 books are you currently reading?
Jaquin, the 3 books that I'm currently reading, number 1 is The Road to Your Best Stuff. That's by Mike Williams. Turn the fan on, please. Yes, that's The Road to Your Best Stuff.
Hold on one second.
And I wrote the foreword for that. My mentor, he did that. He wrote that, and it's very good. It's a very good book, and I encourage you to read it as well. Another book that I would encourage you to read that I find that has value and that has impacted me.
Wow.
It's a little small book. It's by James Allen called As a Man Thinketh. And they have a version called As a Woman Thinketh as well. That's very good. And there's another one by Stacy N.C. Grant. Stacy, S-T-A-C-I. Stacy N.C. Grant. And the title of it escapes me, but she only has one book. And it's a powerful one. Give me a tissue over there. I'm perspiring. I'm having a power surge. I don't call them hot flashes. I'm having a power surge. If you're just joining us, this is Les Brown, as you know, Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. I want you to like this page and share it, and ask me questions about your goals and your dreams, and I'll share some thoughts with you. And you're making my afternoon very interesting, okay? Very good. I like that. Next question, please.
I have a question from Diane Christine Fernandez.
Diane Christine Fernandez.
Yes, and she says, can you repeat the name of the videos that you told the young man to watch for 90 days?
The videos that I told the young man to watch for 90 days, one is Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. It's entitled, It's Not Over Till You Win. Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. I'm speaking before 80,000 people. That's when the Georgia Dome existed. The other one that they should listen to is You Deserve. It's a PBS special, the first one that I did. Watch that. And the other one that's very good that will transform your mindset is It's Possible. Now, why 90 days? Because as you watch it over and over and over again, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. It'll go past your conscious mind to your subconscious mind and will show up in your thoughts, how you think, and your attitude, and how you behave, and how you move forward in your life. You can learn some methods and techniques that will begin to motivate and inspire you. And you'll find that I'm an inspirational speaker for a Jewish carpenter. The difference between me and ministers preach the gospel about Jesus. I preach the gospel that Jesus preached. They sell the messenger. I sell his message. Can you feel a brother up in here, up in here? As my mother would say, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, behave. Whatever, marijuana is now legal in many states, but I'm not suggesting that, all right? Okay. So let's take three more questions and we wind up. Go ahead. What's the question?
I have Izzy Gardner.
Izzy Gardner, yes.
What advice do you give for aspiring artists that are looking to blend God's purpose through entertainment at the same time raising a family?
What do you suggest for somebody who has a goal and a dream, and they're an artist, right?
Yes.
And they want to represent God's purpose in their life, in their art, and be able to maintain a family?
Yes.
Yes. That's a very good question, and it's a very good purpose that you want to do. You want to begin to live an integrated life. Here's what I'm encouraging you to do. As I looked at my life and I got up this morning, I have goals that I want to achieve with my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandsons. So I write down the things, the experiences, the moments that I'm going to create with them. I'm going to see my granddaughter today, one of my granddaughters, and one of my great-grandsons. I called one of my granddaughters this morning, and that's in California. But what you want to do is write out the experiences, what you'd like to share with your children. Life is about moments and experiences. And then write out the activities that you must be engaged in that will allow you to work towards your goal. But make your family the priority and have that written down, and also share with your family what's in it for them when you achieve your goal. That's very important, because if they know what's in it for them, they'll help you get dressed. Okay? And so therefore you want to first of all lay out it's family first and then finance. And as you lay that goal out, then you always want to work around the choices you've made for the experiences with the family, and then the things you need to do to work toward your goal. Next question, please. There are people calling? Okay, get some of those calls for me. Go over there and get them and find them out, because I might be able to to handle that, I'm going to take two
Okay.
more.
You
all
want to
right?
take two more? I thought we were
Yeah.
wrapping up.
No, I was going to
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. What is?
I
Yeah.
have Jason Headmark.
Hello.
Jason Headmark. Yes.
And how do you find your way back when you feel lost from being in the bottom to the top and then losing everything?
Jason, welcome to the club. He said, how do you find your way back from the bottom to the top when you've lost everything? Well, let me correct you. You haven't lost everything. You're still here. You still have your life. That's number one, okay? People who've lost everything, they're in the cemetery. Okay, all right. So, Jason, you still got a pulse, all right? God ain't through with you yet. That's number one. Number two, you're in a good place, Jason, because sometimes God has to break a life in order to reserve a life, to preserve it. And there's a greater work for you to do. No tests, no testimony. And so therefore, there's something else that you are to do. And your life is going to be a testimony. And the experiences that you gain. What have you learned, Jason? I want to ask you some questions. What has changed about you, Jason, as a result of this? And what role did you play in it, Jason? You're being at the bottom. There's a saying, wherever you find yourself, at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. Next thing is, Jason, what do you want now? Where are you going? And what radical change must you make in your behavior, in your mindset, in your choices that will allow you to rebuild your life? Because that's in your hands. You still have a pulse. You're still breathing. You're still here. Okay? And make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort, Jason, to die to who you've been, to give birth to who you are to become. Forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forth unto those things which are before. Press toward the mark of your higher calling, Jason. Your past don't define you. Your circumstances don't define you. Walter P. Chrysler filed bankruptcy 49 times before he became successful in the automobile industry. Walt Disney filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns before he became successful with his theme parks. And so everybody who has ever had goals and dreams that they wanted to achieve, we all have had our moments in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus asked the disciples to pray with him. And those sorry dudes, they went to sleep. You know what I mean? Come on. What y'all doing sleeping? Y'all over there playing bid whist. I asked y'all to pray with me, and now y'all over there sleeping. I'm listening, and y'all snoring, all right? Jason, it's a part of the process. But as Robert Schuller said, tough times never last, Jason, but tough people do. You are tough, my brother. You are a masterpiece because, Jason, you're a piece of the master. Yes, indeed. That's my story, Jason, and I'm sticking to it. Next question, please.
I had a question, caller on here that said, how would you suggest she mix sewing with speaking? What's your name?
Who's that at?
She said, how do you mix sewing and speaking?
What's
That's
her
what she
name?
got. What's your name again? Hello? Yeah, what's your name?
Give me a pencil and a piece of paper.
Yes, your name. Tissa. Her name is
Okay,
Tissa. Hold on,
put
let me
her
see.
on speakerphone. Put her on speakerphone. I'm going to do something. Somebody asked a question. How do you mix sewing with speaking? Come on, go
Okay.
put it on. Yeah,
Can you speak, Tisha?
Tissa.
Yes.
Hi. How do you spell your name?
TISA.
TISA. And so you want to speak, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And you can also sew.
Yes, I can.
Are you good?
I am excellent.
On a scale of 1 to 2, how do you rate yourself? On a 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself? A 10? Where do you live here in Atlanta?
I'm sorry?
Where do you live?
Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh, you're in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, you one of my homies down there. All right, very good. Now, what do you want to speak on?
I want to speak on sewing. I'm trying to figure out how do I put the two together.
Good. All right. And so, what is it you want to share about sewing?
What do I want to hear about sewing?
No. What do you want to share about sewing? What is it you want?
I want to share how to sew. Basically, to teach people how to sew.
What's one of the keys to becoming a successful person and learning how to sew and being able to produce garments that people would want to purchase? What's one of the first keys?
Patience.
Great. All right. And then give me another one.
Time.
Okay. And give me another one.
Skills.
Skills. And give me one more.
Passion.
Got it. Okay, very good. So I want you to listen, and I'm going to work on your message right now. I'm going to deliver it back to you. And you pronounce your name?
Tissa.
Tissa. Got it. Thank you. I
Yes.
want you to listen. Tell me if it's be helpful to you. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about how to pull your life together, how to knit your life and begin to create something special with your life, with the garment of hope and inspiration and passion and determination. Number one, there must be a total commitment of your time and your energy on what it takes to begin to develop your skills in learning how to bring garments together, select the right garments that match and that's in harmony with each other so the colors are not clashing, and creating something that will have appeal to people. And the next thing is that you must invest in yourself. That learning how to sew, it's an art. It's very important for you to find someone like myself, someone who masters the art of sewing, that you're willing to invest in yourself and shorten your learning curve so they can teach you how to do what it is you want to do and learn what you don't know right now. The next thing is, as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, you want to practice. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great. And so you want to sew everything that you can possibly sew. You want to be versatile and adaptable and be the kind of person that if someone needs a suit or if they need a dress or if they need a hat, that you can do it. And it's something that you must do over and over and over again to develop the skill set so that you can produce garments that will have a level of popularity and appeal to the general public. And the other thing is, as you look at your goals and look at your dreams and your interest in the area of passion, in the area of sewing, it's got to be your passion. Sewing takes patience. And when everybody is out having a good time, you've got to be willing to put in the work. Then I tell you, sewing takes patience. When there are distractions and all kind of things going on, in order for you not to be a starving artist, you must be patient until you develop the skill set. You must be patient until you develop the mastery. You must be patient in attracting the customers to build your business. All of that requires patience. You can do it. Sewing is a calling, something that as much as you have chosen it, it has chosen you. Sewing has been calling your name. Remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you got to get started to be great. Make the total commitment. This is Tasha saying, get started now. Is that helpful?
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's beyond helpful.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wow.
You're so kind.
Thank you.
You like that?
I loved it. Wow. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Take care. And look here, would you hook a brother up?
I definitely will.
Okay, let me tell you what I want. Let me tell you what I want. Okay, I don't want you to hang up because I want to wear one of your garments on my Facebook Live. I'm a Mickey
no.
Mouse fan. Okay, I have a Mickey
That would
Mouse
be a
socks as we
blessing.
talk.
I would be more than happy to do that.
Okay, so give my assistant your information, and I'm gonna call you back and give you my measurements so you can create something for me, and I'm gonna put it on and say this has been made by Tissa.
Oh.
All right, so we can get you some customers. All right.
Yes, thank you. Many blessings. Thank
Okay, many blessings to you. Get her
Thank you.
information
Yeah.
for me. All right. Yes, indeed. Okay. What's the next question you have?
Let me write it.
Yes. Hey, listen. This is Les Brown. We're gonna take this.
you for sharing my question.
Yes, okay. Yeah, get her information. Don't take her off speakerphone and write it down for me. Yes, go ahead.
I have Michelle Reed. How do you face your fears and just go for it?
How do you face your fears and just go for it? Oh, Michelle Reed. Let me share something with you. Okay, I've never talked about this publicly. I was called upon to speak at the Georgia Dome. I thought it was going to be like a banquet room. I didn't know it was going to be before 80,000 people. And a guy said, "Man, you must be a bad dude." I said, "Why do you say that?" He said, "Come over here and look out there." He said, "You see all those people?" I said, "Yes." "That's who you're speaking to." I said, "You gotta be kidding." Let me tell you what I did. I ran to the bathroom. When I get excited, I have to. It was for number one, all right? I had to go to the bathroom. And I couldn't hear the voices. I was walking back and forth and say, oh my God, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And I was terrified. And so my mentor, Mike Williams, they had to get him because the band was stalling before I came out to speak. And he said, "Brownie?" I said, "Yes." He said, "You're afraid, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Do it for your mother." I said, "Man, come on, Mike. Don't break my mama in it. Come on, man." I said, "I can't hear the voices. When I speak, I hear these voices." He said, "Listen to me." He said, "They came to see you. You didn't come to see them. Focus on the fact that this is what you're supposed to do. You were called to speak." He said, "Trust yourself. Now see yourself as a channel that God will speak through. Say to yourself, more of thee, less of me." And so here's what I'm sharing with you. As you think about conquering your fears, fears are thoughts. Zig Ziglar called fear false evidence appearing real. You want to speak from your faith. Faith is finding answers in the hard. Live from your heart. Why? The mind believes, but the heart knows. He said, "I'll give you the desires of your heart." Whatever it is that you want to do, guess what? You were chosen. 1 out of 400 million sperm to do that work. You are an unrepeatable miracle. You were chosen to do that. And you're more than able. You're more than capable of doing it. Why? Because you got it like that. Why? Because you're made in the likeness and image of God and been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Listen to me. Whatever goal you have, you can do it. You can do it. Say that to yourself. The Book of Life says death and life is in the tongue. Why? Because we speak more death than we do life. In order for me to conquer my fears, I had to speak life and say, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And you go from believing it to knowing it. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy on this Memorial Day. I hope that this has had some value for you. If you're looking for a mentor for one-on-one counseling, if you're prepared to invest in yourself, and if you want more information about my speaker training that I'm going to be doing here in Atlanta, I'm going to Ottawa, Canada, and I'm excited. Those of you that are in Ottawa, Canada, get your tickets right away. It's going to be standing room only. Spread the word. And if you know anybody who lives in Ottawa, Canada, tell them Les Brown, Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy, is on the way. He's going to get the butter from the duck. He's hungry to motivate and inspire you to live your dreams. I hope this time that we've spent together has been of some value to you. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
We got one more question if possible. Sean
One
was
more
on.
question?
Yeah, there's one more.
What is it?
I told Sean, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Sean, you have one more question. What is it, Sean?
First, Mr. Brown, let me say I'm honored to be speaking with you today. I thank the Lord for giving me this opportunity. I was persistent in my attempts to call. My question is this. Most of my young adult life I spent living in some, not so great circumstances, crime and violence and gang life. And at some point my life transitioned, and I had heard from God, and I thought he was calling me to become a preacher, to give a testimony of what I had been through. And so I started that track, and I went to school and did all the things to become a preacher. And now I'm a preacher, and I haven't been as effective as I thought I would be. And so over the past several years, I've been feeling that God wasn't necessarily calling me to be a preacher. So when you made your statement about the message and the messenger, it really resonated with me, because I believe that I'm supposed to be a motivational speaker. I just spoke this week, and I live in Baltimore, and maybe you may know that Baltimore is one of the most violent cities in America right now. And each year I take a group of young African-American males to Pennsylvania to just get them off the streets for a little while. And we just came back on yesterday, and I spoke to some young men. We had about 100 young men there, and it just felt like, it's always felt like that's where I'm supposed to be. I go out on the streets of Baltimore, and I witness the young men, and try to give them some alternates to the lifestyle that they're living.
Okay, let me interrupt you here. I know exactly how you feel. And let me share this with you. We have the same background. I call myself into the ministry, and I call myself out. They almost drove me crazy. I said, you about to make me lose my mind. Up in here. So before I became a motivational speaker, do you know what, man? I didn't see anybody who looked like me. Nobody. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was the only African American in the audience, and this is in the 70s. It hit me and said, wait a minute. These people in here have never been enslaved, and yet they need a Robert Schuller to tell them to become possibility thinkers. These people who've never had systems of racism and discrimination stacked against them, and yet they needed a Wayne Dyer to tell them to pull their own strings. These people who've never been brutalized and treated less than human, and yes, they needed someone to tell them to think positive, be motivated, and that they can achieve their goals and dreams. Then what more do we have? And so I realize that many people who want to help people, that because of the limited vision we have of ourselves based upon people who look like us, they say, well, I'm going to become a minister because that seemed to be the only option. Well, I just wanted to help people like you. You want to help people. And so I will show you how you can do that, how you can leverage your experience, the things that you've gone through. And because of God's grace and mercy, you are still here. And now you want to pay it forward. You are still here. And so you can help other young men and women to learn, number one, to develop their minds and develop a sense of purpose. Number two, how to develop their communication skills and be able to express themselves just like you. Three, how to dress like a prospect rather than a suspect. Four, how to develop the relationships that are an asset to you rather than a liability. And five, and I'll teach you how to do that, how to become a global entrepreneur using the internet and their telephone, and they'll make money in the same day. I've got a training that I provide, how it's called Train the Trainer, how to work with young people, because if we can have little league football teams and baseball teams and basketball teams and rappers, then we can have little league dermatologists and cardiologists and endocrinologists and young people pursuing their greatness. So I'll share with you how you can do that. And those of you that are interested in that, what I want you to do is email me for me to send you a copy of my program, my youth program, to lesbrown77@gmail.com. lesbrown77@gmail.com, so you can see how it functions, how it works. And if you're really seriously interested in my coaching you in this area, I'll let you know when I have an event here in Atlanta, because I train young people with their parents and concerned citizens together so we can make a collective greater impact. Has this been helpful to you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it has.
Fantastic. Okay, and also leave your information as well. But email me your information, and I'm going to send you some of the videos of my training with youth. lesbrown77@gmail.com, Sean.
Yes, got it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sean, and I want to thank all of you for taking the time to text your questions and ask me questions that other people will benefit from it as well as yourself. You have something special. We're living in a special time right now, but don't worry about what's going on in the White House. Worry about what's going on in your house. Keep thine eyes single, and thy whole body will be full of light. You have something special. You have greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. God bless you, and God bless your dreams.